Who doesn't want to be a samurai? I know I do, and what better way to achieve that goal than to replicate it in Ravenfield? But let's face it, melee combat in Ravenfield kinda sucks. Is that gonna stop me from trying to have a good time? Of course not. With the right weapons and game configs, swords can actually be a little decent. And I mean that literally. Only a little. With Ravenfield, anything is possible. Where there's a will, there's a way, and that way is probably a bunch of random mods buried deep in the workshop. So without further ado, or should I say, without further ado, here is how I made myself a bona fide samurai in Ravenfield. First things first, the look. If it looks like a duck, swims like a duck, blah blah blah, we all know the saying, then it's probably a duck. This applies to samurais as well, which means looking the part is essential. The best skin available is the Sengoku skins pack, which provides an eagle variant, a raven variant, wherever the heck a Sohei is, and even a peasant skin, which can be super fun if you want to slaughter the innocents for disrespecting your shogunate. The next important part, the weapon. The blade that stands between me and my enemy. The true art form of being a samurai starts with the blade. So of course, picking the right weapon mods is very important. First and foremost, Pomp Melee Weapons Pack, which provides a lot of variety from different time periods, of which is old Japanese weapons. These particular set of weapons add some nice diversity to battles, as well as weapons that aren't just one-hit kill and are also at a slower attack speed. These are great to populate your bots with and also give yourself a bit more of a challenge. Next we have the Type 95 Gunto, Katana, and the Katana mod. Both are similar in the fact that they both can one-hit kill and both attack very fast. Great personal choices with good animations. If you need a lot of people dead in a close vicinity and very quickly, both these weapons do a great job. Lastly, we have the Dash Attack Melee Weapons mod, which contains a katana that lets you dash and attack at the same time. This is very entertaining, and when combined with another dash mod, can make for some overpowered attacks. Now that we have our samurai absolutely kitted out, we need the right setting and atmosphere. Being a samurai in a futuristic city or a warehouse depot just doesn't feel right. So, maps baby. We need some good maps. I've picked a solid 5 to rotate through. To start out, we have Dynasty map from Tabs, which honestly, I think does a good job fitting the Ravenfield aesthetic, as well as just being a simple arena fight. I personally think it's a great map. Small scale battle, nothing too much to say about it. Next, we have the Japanese Dynasty map, which is a larger, also simple map, and with details like this, it's hard to believe I've not actually teleported back to the 12th century. Sarcasm aside, it's a simple map layout, but it's great for sword fights. Similar to that map, we have just the basic Japanese map, which is also really similar in the fact that it's just one giant arena, but this combines well with other movement mods since it's just so large and open. Overall, solid. Last is the Japanese Castle Defend, the largest map and is great for large-scale sieges. It's great for longer fights that allow you to really rack up those kills and defend your honor. Of course, you can't go wrong with a rural village map, Rice Valley. Nothing crazy, just as described and good for what we need. Last but not least, some mutators. Because without them, sword fights would be unsavable. So bear with me, there's a lot of them, but I legitimately think all of them have an important role in fixing melee combat. I'll try to run through them quickly just so that this video doesn't get too long. Since sword battles kinda end up just being a mosh pit, this mutator is essential. The Disable Friendly Fire plus More mutator, which at default setting just prevent friendlies from killing themselves, and from you from killing them, which helps prevent each team from quite literally stabbing themselves in the back. While kind of unrealistic, it 100% helps battles flow better and prevents having a numbers advantage from becoming a disadvantage. I don't need a 1v10 turning into 1v3 because bots don't know how to swing a sword. Number 2, Dash Mutator. The dash is great because it can get you in and out and sometimes through trouble very easily. It adds a nice, neat element of combat that I enjoy and makes movement a lot more fun. Next is the Always Charge, a simple but effective mutator that makes bots run towards the enemy no matter what. This is super useful for sword fights as there's no need to take cover or hold points. In this example, the Ravens naturally want to hold this choke point on island, but with Always Charge activated, they go straight forward. This is perfect for epic hand-to-hand combat clashes where the goal is to take distance, not cover. At 4, we have Bot Skill Level Tweaker. Amazing for when you want an elite group of troops versus the masses, or if you just want to make your samurais more powerful than the other team. This mutator does as titled. It lets you set the difficulty or skill of your team or enemy. Limix, or however the heck you pronounce it, the Gore mod. Now unfortunately, because of how the mod works and how melee weapons are coded, it does not dismember. However, the Gore mod in general has a few features I like, such as bodies moving a little after death, small blood decals, and sound effects. I did a bit of troubleshooting to see if it was possible to make blades dismember limbs or heads, but unfortunately it just can't be done. I got a confirmation from the creator that the mod isn't built for that, which honestly is fine. It still is just a spectacular mod in all other aspects of this game, so I can't complain too much. At 6 we have the True Gore mod supplement, which is Improved Blood V2. It's not as great as the original, well not the original, the just better mod, and does add a bit more immersion of blood to the game. At 7 we have Smoothment, which is nothing crazy. It just makes bots move a little more natural and it de-accelerates bots coming to a stop. For the 8th mod, we have Third Person View. Kind of a fun change up, not really necessary, and honestly is a little glitchy, but can be fun for needing to look around and embrace that melee gameplay. It lets you toggle between first and third person, as well as let you look over each shoulder. I just think it's kind of fun. Personally, I disable crosshair, and as a reminder, you use C to change the view, and you hold down C to toggle between first and third person. At number 9, we have Hit Stop, also an incredibly necessary mutator because it lets you swing your blade while running, which you can't do for some reason in vanilla Ravenfield. It's super simple, but adds a lot of gameplay, especially when you combine it with other movement mutators. And lastly, the best movement mod you don't know about, the Titanfall 2 mod, which has been removed from the workshop for some time now. I used this site to re-download it and install it manually in my files, and by no means am I endorsing this site as safe. This is just what I used. I would recommend you do your own due diligence on whether or not you find this site trustworthy, but anyways, this mod lets you wall ride, slide, double jump, and while other mods can be combined to do this, I believe that this one is so much better at doing that than other mods currently in the workshop. It's much more fluid, allows for faster pace, and does exactly what you need to do. I like it with a bit more speed, so I have my numbers set a little higher. There is a bit of conflict when you use this with some other certain mods, but with everything I've listed today, there is no issues. I could go on and on about small little things to add, but this is kind of the core of what I use to try and revive melee combat just a little bit. I also realized by this point I've kind of become more of a ninja, but you know what? That's okay. This is a basic setup for old style Japanese fights. I'm not too concerned about the accuracy of it, and if you're really interested, you can add a ton more to this, like a bow mod or a crude weapon for just a little more spice. And that's about it. This is my attempt at becoming a samurai in Ravenfield. This is a longer video than usual, so if you made it this far, thank you so much for sticking through it, and if you did enjoy, I always appreciate any feedback, whether it be a like, a comment, but again, you've made it this far, which is plenty enough for me. So again, thank you, and till next time, peace.